And you are back on the Tortoise and Hare experience. And with us today, we have Sean Decker and Zombie Dave.
Zombie Dave Rita.
In the house.
Is he a zombie?
It's scary. This is going to be a scary program today.
Well, not really. I mean,
No, it's
scary
really
outside
scary.
already.
You have no idea.
Do you guys like the rain? Are you fans of being wet?
I do. I love the rain. It's great to write in because you get to stay inside where it's nice and warm. It's creepy outside, nice and gray. It's perfect for writing horror, I think. Sean?
I moved to Los Angeles for 76-degree weather, so I'm not a fan. I mean, we need it. I'm very thankful that we're getting it, given the drought. But
Right.
I'd rather not drive in it, and yeah,
Or floating in.
or floating it.
How
It's
we
just
got
kind of
it.
how it was on the way to the
We took
studio
the
today.
arc here, yeah.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about that, about the drive. Oh, because,
The
okay,
streets are flooded.
I would like to real quick talk about an experience that I went through with Max. So she finally is alive, and she's like, okay, I can do the show. And then we both have this misunderstanding of where the show's going to be, because usually it's filmed at the studio,
Right.
And one time we did it at your place, but that's because like you were on your deathbed, so it's like we had to bring the studio to you.
I'm not supposed to be out of bed, and the doctor will be really mad.
And what's so rad is she's not. We totally hologrammed her.
Right. I'm not even here. I am not here.
She's like Jen.
And my breasts that just fell out of my shirt.
Tupac.
They weren't there either.
Yeah.
Thanks, Turtle.
See, Turtle, that's how you can always have Max the show. You can just Tupac her there next to you
Right.
for
Yeah.
forever.
That'd be cool. And then you get to like hologram out like Will I Am.
So there you go.
I'm hologramming out.
It's awesome.
So we were talking. So we had this discussion. She's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm at the studio. Where are you?"
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
what? What do you mean? I'm sitting here waiting for
Yeah,
you.
but I went and I looked back because now here's the cool thing about text. I really don't like text just because my emotions and just my sarcasm, my brilliant wit gets lost.
Completely.
Within just a flat sentence. So I went back and there was no mention of where the show was gonna be at.
Yeah, so it was just all up in the air.
Yeah, but next time we got to
Right.
start that new
Let's
policy.
hope I make it to the next.
I hope so. If not,
Yeah, both of you arriving at the same place sounds like probably a pretty good idea. A good plan.
yeah, we arrived on time at different locations,
Location.
Yeah, but we were on time.
but we were on
Right.
time.
'Cause that's how we do it.
Yeah, that's important. So that's what I was going through with Max, just miscommunication, and that's the first time that's ever happened to us. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying
No, we are so on top of it.
we are. But I like the fact that we went through that experience together because it just showed like what we. I don't know. It just meant a lot. It was a. Sometimes you have to go through a bad experience in order for something to be good. Kind of like in a horror, you put these people in the worst situations just so they can be happy
Right.
at the end. Well, in some.
Well, that's the stuff I write. I don't, I always got to write romantic and happy. I'm like, Frankenstein Capra when I write. It's always a happy ending somehow, even horribly happy. But
Horribly happy.
But I don't know. Sean's a little darker.
Yeah, I've never written a happy ending.
Right.
I just haven't.
I actually have never acted in anything that ended happy either.
Well, it's
Why?
yeah.
Why is that?
It's the roller coaster ride, I think, for the audience within most horror films. Ultimately you want to see that character prevail, the final girl succeed and defeat the monster, but in setting up the sequel, he always comes back, or she always comes back, and you end up realizing you just watched 90 minutes of the destruction of somebody's soul.
Right.
Ah.
It's true. But what's really, really cool about Dave Rita's films are that the monster wins, and that the girl
Wait for
falls
spoiler alert,
for-
everybody.
Well,
It's true. It's what
yeah,
he's known for.
it's
The
just
girl
how I-
falls for the monster, and it's like you actually fall in love with this monster that is,
Well, one would hope.
horribly creepy.
Horribly sweet.
Horribly sweet.
That's one of my things. Yeah.
I think Dave really picks up off of the early Universal films,
Completely.
going back to Frankenstein's monster and Dracula and the Wolfman, all very tragic characters. with
Really misunderstood characters.
very misunderstood,
Yeah.
absolutely, with a romantic and pitiable element to all of them. And I think a lot of horror fans can relate to that sensibility. So I think that's why they're drawn to those original films. And it's, for me, I think it's great that Dave's continuing within his own work, because we're watching what Universal Studios is doing now with the reboot of those classic monsters,
Right.
and they're not doing any of that. They're turning them into superheroes, which
It's old.
very questionable. So
Sad.
I'm glad Dave, is continuing with that.
No,
that feeling.
no
my plan.
disrespect. No disrespect to Universal. We love Universal.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah, I worked there for a long time, and
I'm on
I
Universal
love that
payroll.
company.
Right. Well, I mean,
so,
but that's what I'm
like,
saying is I really believe that's exactly what I say. I mean, when I was a little kid, I watched these movies: Frankenstein, Wolfman, King Kong. All of them, they were, all of them, they were in love with the girl, but they never got the girl, and I always felt bad. I'm like,
Well-
it's not fair. Now I can do something about it, so the monster gets the girl.
Right. You know what? We didn't mention. Phil Buckman was in one of the greatest films from Universal, which was American Werewolf in Paris, the second in the dual films by
Yeah, he
John
did appear in
Landis.
that.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yep. Yep. I believe he got torn up fast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
He
if
got
you want to go,
ripped into
go real quickly,
Yeah.
Right?
Look at that on page 3. What?
Awesome.
But if you're a part of the horror genre, like dying, that is like what everybody's dream is. Nobody wants to be the quote unquote like antagonist or whatever.
I do.
Everyone's like, "Oh my god, did you see the way I died? Wasn't that awesome? Like you made a great death for me."
Certainly, if you're in a horror film, you're probably going to want to play the monster, or if you're not, at least have a really great death sequence.
Right.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
what
want to
everybody
be
always
just
wants.
the supporting character that comes in and out and never gets killed. There's no
Hey
fun in
guys,
that.
need any more
Well,
chips?
I like to come back. I like to come back in future films. So
Absolutely.
I try not to
Absolutely.
die.
Yeah, you know what's funny? People
Oh,
always
it's
ask me,
done.
when are you
You
going to
gotta
kill
go
me
for the final
again?
Well, yeah, I already killed you once. I
Right,
can't.
right.
Can't
I
bring
want
you
to die
back.
for you again, Dave. Really? Awesome.
What in your mind is like the best death sequence that you've ever seen in any film?
Ooh. See, I'm going to go back to, all the way back to Hitch, Psycho. Just because Janet Leigh, I mean, the whole setup of it, I mean, Janet Leigh's your main character, to kill off your main, no one had done that before, to kill off your main character right away, and it was just so dramatic, and it's still mocked today, and still taken today, so, I mean, that's the one that sticks with me. It's not the bloodiest, it's not the most horrible, but it's the one that sticks with me, and it still sticks with a lot of horror fans, I think.
Yeah, Sean?
Well, I mean, it was revitalized in Scream in '96
There you
with
go.
Drew Barrymore. I mean, that was a complete moment. Just obviously a lot more shortened and a lot more bloody. And I think that's actually a great opening kill.
I do
and
too.
an amazing sequence in modern horror.
Yeah.
At
Right.
this point, I mean, you basically have set the entire film in motion within that very short sequence, and you understand that world, and you have the audience completely off kilter from moment
Oh,
one.
yeah, because the moment you see Drew Barrymore, you're like, oh, okay, this is going to,
Well, it's the same thing with Psycho. Exactly.
right,
Yeah, it was a big
exactly,
thing, Janet.
yeah.
That must kill you guys because you're like, how do I do that? It's already been done. And it's just like, how do you make that fresh and reimagined again? It must drive you guys fucking ape shit.
I don't know. I mean, I think ultimately I try not to, in a screenplay writing capacity, I try not to struggle with ideas that just aren't coming to me. Or if I am struggling at all with it, it'll be put to the side until such time as that light bulb goes off, and you're like, oh, okay, I got that. But I think that's the problem with so many writers is they'll have an idea that maybe they're not completely comfortable with, and they're trying to basically pound a square peg into a round hole, and it shows in the final product. You have to really understand your characters and understand that 3-act structure and your inciting incidents and the characters as they are. I mean, I think one of the biggest problems is people are like, okay, well, this is what the decision this character is going to make now. Regardless of the fact that by the time they get to page 30, they realize the character that they've written wouldn't make that decision. But they have them do it anyway. And it rings hollow when you're reading it. It rings hollow certainly once it's produced. So I think just being true to your characters' voices really is the most important thing.
That's so true. I say being true to the characters themselves and being true to life. I mean, one of the biggest things I have a problem with is lately, like still even nowadays, when you see movies, the addition of cell phones has caused a real big problem for horror fans. I mean, for horror writers, because the thing a horror writer wants to do is you want to get your characters and you want to have them totally secluded and there's nothing they can do and you're isolated, right? That people always say, well, why didn't they just call the cops or why didn't you do this? And there's a phone on you at all times. So their big solve to this is to say, oh, no signal, and then they throw their phones down. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that phones are hundreds of dollars. Nobody would throw their phone down. You know what I mean? This just doesn't happen. And that's, you got to be true to life if real. And what you would do, and I mean, it's such an easy fix too, dead battery. You don't have to go dead battery.
Even not the dead battery. I mean, write a script in which, it's clever enough that nobody feels the need to call anybody. So possibly it's
even
too late.
Better.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can just write it in Laurel Canyon where there is no service.
Right.
So,
or there.
Right.
That's an excellent. Damn it! You got to do it before the show comes out.
Right.
That's a really good idea.
Right? That's Sean.
Yeah, we'll call it Laurel Slasher. I don't know. Trying to think of something cool.
Speaking of which,
Just saying.
Yeah, Hollywood slasher.
L.A. slasher.
L.A. slasher.
LA slasher.
Which is the same thing, but backwards.
But backwards. Yeah, we're the films have been completed. I co-produced and wrote some additional scenes for it. I've been on it for the last 3 years since its inception. Really, it was directed by a British filmmaker by the name of Martin Owen, and produced by Daniel Solinger and Abigail Wright and Jeffrey Wright. It's about an individual who is fed up with the public's obsession with reality TV and reality TV stars, and basically decides to abduct a series of them and film their, I don't want to say necessarily torture, but their difficult situations and release it online.
Difficult situations.
Basically turning social media back on in itself. It's a social satire with definite horror overtones to it. But yeah, we're currently on the festival circuit. It's been playing really well.
Yeah, it's making a lot of noise right now.
Which I'm really excited about. And we are currently being repped by Archstone Distribution. So we're looking hopefully to announce some news as to when that movie's going to be out. It's going to be in the beginning of next year.
Congratulations!
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
You have like more festivals to choose.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Yeah.
playing this weekend in Tampa.
That's
and
awesome.
Yeah, it's running on the festival circuit right now. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think it's funny. I think it's it's dark. I think it's an indictment of us all in a way, but
Right.
within that world, but without being too preachy. I mean, I think hopefully people just really have a good time with it. I think it's a fun ride.
From what I've been hearing, they are. So.
Yeah,
awesome.
we've been hearing really great things about it.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Rita, known as the festival darling.
Yeah.
It's true. It's a good thing that he doesn't have something out right now, because
Right. Everybody loves
Dave
it,
gets
yeah.
all the press. He
I-
steals all the press from everybody.
I appreciate you saying that.
Oh, it's true. And I have a film out in the festivals right now too, with House of Manson, and we're all very thankful that Dave's not there.
Oh, stop.
Dave, make something so I can.
All right?
Right?
I'm just going to make it just
Exactly.
pissing everybody's cornflakes, apparently.
Well, it's about time.
Horribly. It's about time.
It's about time. We need another film.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
We need another
Yeah, I haven't
film.
done a feature in a while.
How long has it been?
7 years. Big
That's
parts.
beyond what are you doing? Chinese democracy?
No,
What
I've
is
been
wrong
doing
with you?
short films in between.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
It takes a lot to do features. There's a lot that goes into it. So
Really, I
you
would figure
can't
the
just
process.
pop them out like that.
I figure the process is just not streamlined, but you got your crew down by now. You got like
crew changes on every film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never work with the same people twice. That be a blessing or a curse, I don't know. But it's just, there's just always new talent, new things, new directions, and I don't push forward on good. I have to feel inside myself that the idea and the whole thing is great, and I have to love it because I know how much horror I'm going to go through putting it together. So I have to love it at some point because I know I'm going to hate it, and then love it again. So hopefully when it's done. But so I won't push forward unless I feel it's really worth it to do. And so that takes time, and so then the crew, especially in LA, everybody's shooting and doing stuff all over the place. So then getting that same crew back is not always a possibility. But
Okay. Well, if you guys are ever looking for a radio guy to play a radio slasher or something, look for me.
You would actually be really rad at that. You know?
Ooh.
Be like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, I can see it.
We could do something together.
No.
No. She'll steal your thunder.
What was that about?
Wow.
There was no pause there. Either.
Yes,
Wow.
I know.
You know, the hurtful, hateful. I'm just.
It's an
Turtle
experience.
That's fine. That's
experience.
fine. That's fine, Turtle. You know, that's fine.
Turtle's going to be hosting the show alone very soon.
Well, yeah.
Max is just not going to show up after that comment.
That's fine.
We're going to see how well it goes.
You can say for my other show that I have later on today. So don't worry. I have tons of shows to keep me occupied.
Oh wow! I'm, you know,
I'm overwhelmed with the love.
I'm hurt.
I'm
I'm
overwhelmed with
hurt.
the love.
I'm upset. I may have to scream in your ear now.
That'd be cool.
No. Just you think you got those headphones on, you'll
Yeah.
go deaf. Yeah.
That's true.
Have you ever even heard my screams?
Yeah. But, oh, dude, remember when we recorded she does a great dog. Have you ever heard her dog yelp? Oh, it's very believable.
Well, you know, like Phil Buckman, I do a lot of voiceover and cartoon characters, and I voice 6 characters on a cartoon called Heffenauts, and I play all boys and dogs. So, I do
Interesting.
dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you do the voice of your own dog?
Yeah, Dave.
That'd
My
be-
dog, Era.
That'd be
That's so
funny
cute.
though for you guys to do a like scary movie with like a dog, but like the
Cujo?
I've never seen that, but like
Oh, God. Stephen King just rolled in his non-grave.
You've never seen Cujo?
Stephen King's alive.
Wow.
I know. I said his non-grave.
Oh, okay.
You're aware of Cujo.
Yeah.
You're aware
It's like
of
a
the
dog or
storyline.
something. It's like a dog that like walks around or something.
Walks around.
Right?
Yes,
these people in the car.
it's a dog.
You were
that walks
never
around.
doing a horror film ever. Ever. You just
Wow.
destroyed yourself.
Wow.
Wow.
But I never seen it.
So unknown. The unknown Stephen King.
I can understand having not seen it. That's fine, but not knowing of the narrative, I don't understand.
It's a dog, right? That just walks around.
Yes, that's what it is.
Yep.
That's actually how they pitched it to the studio.
Yeah.
They're like, we've got this
Look at this
great
dog.
concept. It's about a dog that walks around, and they were like, here's all this money. Go
Right,
shoot.
right, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, Phil Buckman could have told you about American Werewolf in Paris, but that's this werewolf just walks around in Paris.
Yeah, I just.
Well,
Check it out, the Louvre.
It's in the title there.
Yeah,
Wow.
Oh, turtle.
just walks around.
Yeah.
So that your movie,
So that
your
awkward pause.
radio slasher, it just kind of walks around,
Just walks around, you know.
Just walks around.
walks the earth like Cain.
It's cool. I assure you. But maybe one day, this is one of my last shows of the year, so I'm gonna have some kind of free time. And free by no means like I have a lot. It's just I'm gonna be working a lot of my other jobs, but I plan on having like a Tuesday off every now and then. But we should watch. Oh my God, this has been a dream of mine to watch a film and like record ourselves doing the commentary.
Like Mystery Science Theater.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, because that hasn't been done.
no.
No, but it hasn't been done with me. It has been done with me and my spin and with Dave.
Fun.
You know?
Let's do it. Let's
I think
show
it'd be
it.
a-
And Mark
Look at
Jody.
John.
Mark Jody does great voiceover for that as well.
Well, it's
He's
not
really-
voiceover; it's just commentary. We're just watching the film. It's
Ripping in a new ass.
yeah, and well, not even that, but it's cool because I've never seen the film, so it's like me watching it for the first time.
La
but
la la
you
la
guys,
la la.
no, but I mean, don't you guys like people that have never seen classic films because you get to experience it through them? You know, it's not I'm better than you or whatever. It's like wow, like I get to see this again, kind of for the first time. I think people are need that.
No, absolutely.
No, I'm sorry.
I don't know if we need.
The fact that
do
you
a
don't
running
know these
commentary
films
over
is
it.
so hurtful to
Well, that's
me.
what makes it funny. It's like
Well, since you're going to have some time off on Tuesdays,
Right,
what I
exactly.
could do is leave you with a list of must-see horror films, and we can go back all the way to Nosferatu and give you
Yes.
a quick
Yes.
crash course. So the next time this conversation comes up, you don't have to be like, it's about a dog that walks around.
so this one's about a person that just walks around. Is that it?
Yeah.
It's about a car that drives around. Okay.
That's called Christine.
Right. I was
Yeah.
about to
That's
say
another
like
Stephen
Stephen
King
King.
I've seen bits and pieces of it.
What's this girl walks
this
around?
girl?
She's like, telekinetic, but she just walks around.
Our entire subgenre has now just been relegated to things that walk around.
Right.
Keep going.
I just love that. I love that you have like a scream queen right next to you, who's done like all these horror movies, and you're like,
He could care less.
whatever.
That's what makes it an experience. you know?
Right.
We're having one.
Exactly.
Turtle doesn't know the first thing about my career.
At all.
He couldn't tell you anything. He couldn't tell you any of the bands that I worked
Nothing.
with or anything.
You know she was with Alice Cooper, right?
Yeah, you know what? She keeps on mentioning that to me. I'm just like, okay, can we move past that?
Kind of a good
man?
horror.
I
like
never
that.
bring it up.
Can we move past that, please?
Alice Cooper is
Yeah.
amazing.
Who's that?
And you should
Who's
bring
that?
it up.
Yeah, she back up.
It's a
saying
guy who
something.
walks around on
Walks
stage.
around.
Walks around the stage. Right.
I know.
know.
Alice Cooper is, you know.
No big whoop.
Do you? Who's your favorite, guy that walks around on stage?
Guy that walks. Well, I'll tell you who's my favorite guy that doesn't walk around on stage. It's Robert Smith from
Oh,
The
okay.
Cure.
I thought you were gonna be like,
Okay.
He just
Stephen,
stands there.
Stephen Hawking's is my favorite guy that doesn't walk around.
He rolls around. He rolls around.
Wow.
There's a difference.
It's taking a
Wait, like, what the fuck?
turn.
Yeah.
Oh, Turtle.
Good times.
Oh, Turtle. That's all I have to say to you today. Oh, Turtle.
But
That
what's
pretty much sums it up.
yeah, but what's great is now you guys get to think of clever ways to throw me in your movies and kill me. Be like, I
They're
should
thinking
be.
that right now.
I should be the guy that walks in the police station. There's this person walking around. They're
Well,
killing
we
me.
can do that actually here.
Right.
Just on
Right
my
now.
iPhone, and then we can put it in the street. Somebody will find it. It'll be a found footage film, and it won't
That's
cost
cool.
us much money.
That's cool.
I did see some edged weapons in the back.
Right. Yeah.
Now, in order for this to be kind of legit, is you can't have a passcode on your phone because we all. I mean, who here has a passcode on their phone? Just raise your hand.
Because it's
So you
radio,
don't.
by the way.
Well, people can see.
No.
We have a
Oh, okay.
camera.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I love. People forget about the camera.
Yeah, they forget.
But I mean, for the most part, we all have. So you gotta, think about that. Or
All
I
access
was
to the
being
phone.
totally sarcastic.
I was like really into it. I was like, okay.
We're doing
I didn't actually just threaten to kill you.
He just said he's going to film me.
We're doing this. Yeah, actually, I think Doty's was telling me, the owner of NoHo 2 here. He's saying he's got a bucket of blood here just waiting for
He
me to
does.
use anyway. So
He does.
There you
might as
go.
well just bust it.
Might as well use it.
Right.
Do you guys ever have that, I guess, hilarious like part in your life where you do have like bodies just strewn about that you never use? That you're like, dude, I have all these decapitated heads and I have no idea what to do with them.
I have an odd item in my freezer that I always forget about. And then somebody will sometimes discover it and freak out. And I'm like, oh yeah, that is in there. But yeah, there's a taxidermied decapitated coyote head in my freezer.
That's cool.
That was.
Okay.
It was.
I would love to send us a photo of that.
Yeah,
so we
it
can
was.
put in the video.
No, it was used to shoot some plates for a script that my co-writer Jack Ulrich and I wrote and sold called Alluvial. It's a horror survival film. And at that time, the producer wanted to shoot some plates. When we were going out to investors, being that it takes place in the desert and there's some coyotes in it. He's like, I wish we had a dead coyote.
Lo and behold.
I brought it up in conversation to somebody over dinner, and I'm like, it's really expensive to create a dead coyote prop. No one really want to spend this money on this thing, yeah? And my friend, who happens to be a tattoo artist, is like, I have a coyote head in my closet. I'm like, why do you have a coyote head in your closet? He's like, well,
Do we want to know why?
the taxidermist. And the taxidermist was like, hey, I have a coyote head. You want it? So he took it, and that's how I ended up with a coyote head.
Yeah, but how did
So
it
we
get to your
shot
freezer?
we shot the plates,
Get the
and it
freezer
got
locked.
like doused, drenched in blood, which honestly that's going to start rotting at some point. So I was like, well, how do I stop that process? Because I didn't know if I was going to use that coyote head again in the future. I got wrapped in a bag and thrown in the freezer. No one thinks about it until sometimes somebody's like, "What's in here?" And they,
Rotting
Brilliant.
love.
yeah,
Brilliant. They get the scare of a lifetime.
I have a severed head that I used in my last short film starring the lovely Michelle Tomlinson.
Good. So we were just having an interesting conversation off the air, and that was about Dave's eating habits.
Yeah.
He's,
The
Besides
worst.
brains.
The
Yeah.
worst.
yes.
Right. I survive on McDonald's, Coke, and cigarettes.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
zombie
disgusting.
This is a serious problem.
It is.
And he defends it.
Yeah.
Were he to say,
Dude, Ronald and me would go way back. Me and Grimace hang out. The Hamburglar knows what's up.
their
We're good.
mascot is a clown. Enough said right there.
Right there.
Don't go there.
Well, I'm a fan of McDonald's.
Yay!
I mean, I don't eat it often.
Every day.
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
every day.
I do have somewhat of self-control, so I.
No, well, wait a minute. Didn't we have an episode once where you
Yes.
talked about eating the cold?
Yeah, a cold hamburger with milk. Like a cold McDonald's hamburger,
See, I don't go
day
that.
old,
Yeah, rip on him.
It's horrible.
with milk. It's really delicious. It's my favorite breakfast.
He's your co-host, Max.
No, not anymore.
You love me, Max.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, let me give out some information on you guys. To reach Sean Decker, make sure to log on to his Twitter, twitter.com/Sean J. Decker. And, of course, you can reach Dave at daverita.com as well as elftwinfilms.com. Feel free to talk to them about their eating habits
Or what's in their freezer.
or what's in
lack
their
of-
freezers.
And
Exactly.
did you know that it's Sean's birthday today?
No, happy birthday.
is.
Thank you.
I'm glad you can spend that time with us. That's really cool.
Max got me a cake. It was super
Is
sweet.
that what I saw over there?
Yep.
It is.
Why aren't we breaking that bad boy open?
Oh, it's up to Sean.
Yeah.
Okay, what's in the cake?
It's red velvet.
It's red velvet.
Okay, I like it.
Because
amazing.
why? Because
It's
it's bloody delicious.
And it has skeletons on top.
It does have skeletons on
Isn't
top.
that just red food coloring in yellow cake or
Red velvet is an actual flavor.
No, Denim Dan, it is not. It's
blood,
actual
goodness.
blood.
It's so weird because like my birthday's coming up
No, it's
very
not.
soon, and like it's real weird when I have my birthdays. I don't like to do anything really. I'll drink a lot heavily, and I just kind of stay secluded. So that's kind of cool that you like to be out and about, and just like
That
a
sounds
regular day.
really healthy.
Yeah.
I'm completely
It's
healthy.
a sad little life.
I don't really like to go out. I just like to drink heavily and seclude myself.
The good old days.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Dave and I share a birthday. We had our
Sort of.
birthday party
Yeah.
together this year.
Did you?
Because hers is the 18th and mine's the next day of August.
That's right. I was unable to come to that
Yeah.
party. That's right.
It's
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
It was.
Good old NoHo 2 studio.
Mm-hmm.
Dave just didn't invite me.
I didn't. I invited everyone.
He did invite you, as a matter of
Did he?
fact. I
Yeah.
know that he
Oh, yeah.
did.
Okay.
You just didn't come.
Yeah.
Now, Sean, other than doing these films, I saw that you did a in-depth video with the guy from Slipknot, Stone Sour.
Oh, yeah, Corey Taylor.
Yeah.
I just interviewed him last month during Screamfest. Really nice guy. Yeah, we're talking primarily about his knowledge of horror films.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, feel free to talk to Turtle about
yeah,
that.
you should interview him. You guys would get along really well. No, that and Fear Clinic, which is a movie that he starred in that was directed by Rob Hall, and it should be coming out next year. It stars Robert Englund, who we all know as Freddy Krueger.
Well, we all know.
We know
all
that.
know, three of us here. And yeah, I had debuted at Screamfest, which is kind of basically the Sundance of horror as far as film festivals go. It takes place every year in October. It's run by Rachel Bolofsky.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been part of that association for about 7 years now. So yeah, that was just one of the many interviews I did during that time. But yeah, he was a really nice guy. And the funny thing is I guess I'm just not hip. They were like, "Oh, so you're gonna be interviewing Corey Taylor from Stone Sour," and I'm like, "No clue who that is."
Is that a band? that
Yeah,
just
I'm like,
walks
is
around?
it,
Does
I
he just
don't know
walk
what it is.
around?
And they're like, "Well, he's in that other band too," and I'm like, "What band?" They're like, "Slipknot." I'm like, "Heard of them?"
Yeah.
Because I guess I listen to way too much hip hop. But
Right on.
he was great, and yeah, it was a fun time.
Very cool. Now, do you usually interview? Do you have your own channel or something that you interview these people on? Or
I
what's
started
going on?
working within the horror journalism realm back in 1997, so definitely dating myself. At Horror Online, which is Universal Studios online website, which kind of set the template for Fangoria.com, Dread Central, Shock to Drop, and all of those evolved obviously, but this was kind of the first template. So yeah, I began there as a news editor and a contributing staff writer. I was really lucky to have wound up in that position and cut my teeth with some really great people. And then from there I went to Fangoria for, 2002, 2009, I think. And then over to Dread Central, and I've worked for FearNet as well. And,
Awesome Dread.
and
Love.
yeah, so I mean, just film set visits, doing a lot of on-set journalism reporting, a lot of interviews.
But they send you all over the world to do this stuff. That's what's cool. I mean,
Yeah, that's always a good perk of the
Right.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets
The
to,
Tortoise
like-
and the Hare gets to go to
The studio.
Burbank.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you never complain when they're like, we're flying you to, the next Godzilla set. And you're like, wait, I get to be on a Godzilla movie?
Right. Maybe
No,
I
that's-
should be
that's
your
so
partner.
awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
Why not? Why not?
You're gonna need an engineer.
But I mean, those are those really great moments that I think, because any job is a job, no matter how much you love it, and you certainly want to like what you're doing, because otherwise, why bother at all?
Right. That's true.
And I don't take myself that seriously, but I take what I do seriously. So it's great when there's a confluence of those things, and you're realizing that your job is to hang out on a Godzilla set.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird because it's really inciting that 6-year-old child in you that
Totally.
loves growing up on those kaiju movies. So yeah,
Is it, or is it a little like depressing because like you don't really get to see Godzilla? Godzilla's now like CGI, so it's like okay, like even though I'm on set, it's just like Godzilla's not really here. He's only here in theory.
well, yeah. I mean, certainly, I would have loved to have been doing this back when Toho was producing their Godzilla films, and hopefully, I'll get a chance to do that because they will do one themselves at some point, and it'll be a guy in a rubber suit.
That'd be cool.
And I would love
Walking
to
around.
see a guy in a rubber suit walking around. Oh wait, and just
Yeah.
and,
See-
yeah,
see how
there you
easy
go,
it is?
there you go. And destroying an amazing model city, and just all of
Yeah.
those things. I mean, I go back.
Jumping and kicking in the air.
Oh yeah. So no, I mean, I won't say it was depressing. It was great.
Right.
And I Gareth Edwards, the director of the latest Godzilla, who had done Monsters, I think really gets it. He's a really great guy, and I'm really looking forward to the follow-up, which they'll be shooting shortly, which I think we're going to have a lot more monster mayhem in.
Is that like Godzilla Island?
No, I don't know what the title is at this point, but he's going to be battling King Ghidorah and possibly Rodan. So
Whoa!
I'm a Mothra guy.
monster
I'm a
mashup.
Mothra guy.
That's what we wanted to hear.
I'm a Mothra guy.
See, I'm a
so-
Gamera guy, which was the competing studio to Toho. Remember Gamera? The flying turtle?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I always wanted to see a smackdown between Godzilla and Gamera. I thought that would be great, but again, competing studio, so it was never going to happen.
Unless you make it happen.
Yeah.
You don't have to necessarily get
myself
Godzilla.
and my army of lawyers will
Well, no, I mean,
unravel that.
You can just make a big lizard. It doesn't have to be Godzilla.
It has to be
and-
Godzilla. Well, yeah, they already did that in Roland Emmerich's Godzilla. They made a big
Yeah,
lizard.
Fail.
What was it called? Big Lizard?
No, it was called Godzilla, but it wasn't Godzilla.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And-
No,
Did you
in
Big
85?
lizard.
1998.
98. Is that with,
So
with
Matthew
Broderick?
Broderick.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We all affectionately
Ferris
call it
Bueller's.
not Zilla.
Yeah.
Because it's not
I
Zilla.
call it
No.
fail.
Thank you. Absolute fail.
Make it call,
Ferris Bueller's
call it
Godzilla.
Big lizard.
Big lizard.
Big lizards coming.
Well, I mean, I think with that having the 1998 American version of Godzilla having been absolutely such a fail, I completely agree with you. The fans certainly weren't expecting much. So when Godzilla 2014 rolled around, I think everybody was pleasantly surprised. I mean, there's some moments in that movie that,
There were.
for me as a Godzilla fan, you're like, that's a Godzilla moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It disturbed me though, that film.
In what way?
The effects, the sound effects, because I have a very sensitive system. When I saw it in the theater, it messed with me.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can see
that
that.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes.
But that's
sense.
cool.
Yeah.
No, it is cool. It's
We're-
very cool.
yeah.
It's cool for
You
the
were
general public.
But you
for
got to
me, it
experience
was
the
like-
real fear of Godzilla right there.
I was
Yeah.
scared.
Am I
I
gonna
was like,
die?
I'm gonna have a seizure.
Yeah. That's
Where did
Godzilla.
you see it at?
Oh, I can't even tell you.
Okay,
Yeah, I was private
got understood.
screening.
With Godzilla.
Yeah, don't say it.
Yeah, we
Gatsuki
they
was
did
there.
they did the press screening at Mann's, which was just amazing because that day, or the TCL or whatever they're calling it now.
Right.
Yeah, And that was when they had that was right when they had unveiled their new IMAX system there, which is the largest in the country. And it was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, it was great.
Speaking of Mans, what do you think about the murder at Mans? Like, what's...
Am I missing something?
Yeah,
The murder at Mans.
There was an attempted murder at Mans Chinese.
When did this happen?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Of who?
Just somebody watching a film.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, it was big news, man. See,
How did I miss that?
that's what I'm here for, is to give you
Apparently.
So
an update.
was it? Did they catch the?
They did.
perpetrator?
It was somebody. I guess got angry over somebody using a cell phone, and it got ugly.
No, I only know about the superhero characters out front battling each other.
Right. Well, I
They
think
do that- they
it
do
was
that
around the
often.
same time.
Right.
So I think that took over media. Because superheroes
Well,
fighting.
Yeah, that's when it's like what
you know,
art imitates
strange.
life, imitates art. I mean, if you go back and you look at Bobcat Goldthwait's "God Bless America," I mean, there's a scene that is exactly that. They execute half a theater of filmgoers because they won't
Yeah.
get off their cell phones or quit speaking. And it's a black comedy, so it's really funny when you watch it, but probably certainly not something to do in the real world.
No.
No.
Well, I mean, it's crazy. When I go to movie theaters, I notice that there are guys now with guns, that are like there to protect everybody. I'm like, really? Like,
Well, a
by
lot
the
of
time
people in a small space.
Yeah, but the way I look at it is like, dude, by the time you find out where the commotion's going, by the time you run to the place, the guy's gonna be gone, or hopefully.
Well, I mean, I think it's more of a deterrent than anything else. But I mean, after that horrible shooting,
Yeah, that was
bad
tragic.
exactly that. I mean, there was going to be some response to that.
Yeah. I'm just happy that actually I'll take that over or not having midnight screenings anymore, and not, because I mean, like, for horror, the midnight screening that's our bread and butter, and they were talking about just taking that all away. And
Right.
if it's going to take some guy in the back of the room guarding me with a gun, or guarding like everybody with a, not just me, but guarding everybody with a gun to keep those screenings happening, then okay, whatever. They're in the
Yeah.
back of the room, right?
yeah.
I'm never at the midnight screenings.
You're not.
No,
Why?
it's just too late for me.
Oh.
Wow.
Theaters are just
His
like,
persona's just
Yeah.
blown.
I know, right? No, I'll still be up.
That's
but
the
I like it.
Coca-Cola McDonald's.
My problem
of
is, like, I
memes.
find
Hang out
theaters
with
so comforting, just that whole cinematic experience, that I'll just nod off in the second act. It could be a great movie, but I'll just be like, I'm tired. I'm going to take a little nap. You don't want to.
Right.
And then you wake up and you're like, did I miss anything? And generally, they're like, not really.
Nice.
Okay.
Generally not.
Yeah. They just walked around.
They just walked around and stuff. But no, like, honestly, the midnight screenings, I used to love going to them. And now I'm just like, I'm really busy. I get up early. I work really late. And I just can't. They're like, oh, it's a midnight screening. And it never starts at midnight, by the way.
No.
Yeah.
It never starts at midnight. It starts maybe around 12:30, 12:45. So you're getting out of there around 3 in the morning.
Lovely. That's like
The
3
screening
in the
should
afternoon
just
to me.
always be in my bedroom. That's what I think. Well,
Right.
because
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
well,
Done.
that's
all right.
Done. We're all
sounded
done.
wrong.
There you go.
But I have a very large screen, and it's just perfect for viewing.
Perfect.
It is. What?
Right on. I'm not gonna argue.
Dave's been
Yeah,
in
Dave.
Max's bed.
So have you.
No, I haven't been in. I've been in the room.
Yes.
Everybody. No, I've had entire Super Bowl parties in my bed. It's not like that.
It's like
it's
it's
not
not
like
like
that. It's great
It just
for
seems-
viewing.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah. What are you trying to say?
I
Easy.
know.
Oh my goodness.
Dude,
oh
Max
my
is not
goodness.
easy at all.
What are you trying to take us
I am not easy.
Yeah.
I
Everyone's
am-
tried to sleep with her. Just
Yeah, it
doesn't
never
work.
Ain't gonna
works.
happen.
It,
Yeah,
it
I'm
never
like, you're a
works.
prude, Max. Get over it.
I know. It's sad.
Sad.
Wanted to talk to you real quick, Dave, about the Chapulín Colorado.
Ah, Chapulín Colorado.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So sad.
And El Chavo.
And
his other
Chavo.
character.
He was Chava del
Chavo.
Ocho.
El Chavo del Ocho. Yeah, I grew up watching that, man. That's like part of what formulates my comedy is that, and he was taking from Laurel and Hardy and just oh yeah, he's yeah.
Yeah, it was sad for me too. And
Did you watch it as a kid too?
I did, did. But like, it was funny because some like girls like, oh my god, this person's dead, and I didn't know him as that person. Was like, oh, hey, like just celebrate him or whatever. And then I get home and then I see,
And then he's crying.
And I correlate the two. I'm like, oh no,
You know?
Chapoli!
Yeah, and I mean, really,
No
it's like
idea.
you
It's
do.
a Latin-
You guys
a
do know
Latin
it's iconic
character.
because the Simpsons make fun of him as he's the
As
Spanish bee
B-man
character
or something.
in the Simpsons.
Okay.
That guy is supposed to be a representation of El Chapulín, who was a superhero who's basically a super cockroach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
But he's a love cockroach. It's,
Right.
you know.
And just like a schoolboy. He's like,
No, that's
oh, that's the other guy.
El Chavo. Yeah,
That's-
no, El
yeah,
Chavo,
El Chavo.
lives in a barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what's so funny. It's like Spanish comedy is so weird, you know? They're just like what they think is funny is so different, but it's so weird. Like, you know, hi, ha ha ha, he lives in a barrel, and he's like no one feeds him, and he's like a total like bum kid that all the other rich kids hang out with and have adventures with, and it's funny, and you're like, but don't they feed him? And no,
No.
he's El Chavo. All right.
Doesn't need food.
Sean's going, what the hell are
I
you
said El
talking
Chavo, and
about?
I thought he was talking about the restaurant on Sunset. So I was like, yeah, it's a good place. The Vista Theater is really awesome too.
Right.
You know what I just realized as you guys are speaking?
There's little witches
witches.
here.
There are,
Yeah,
and I
ghosts.
didn't even notice on our own set.
They weren't
I
there
didn't
before
even-
we got there.
That's awesome. Dan, was that your magic?
No, Mark Doty has his own Dotyisms that he.
There's things going on.
There's-
Doty.
Yeah, that was very cool. Thank you, Mark Doty, for that.
It's so funny, but I grew up on
And
that.
did.
Did you grow up on that?
I
too?
did,
It's
I
like
did.
a real part of like most. If you're have I guess Spanish heritage, it's like it's what you grew up on. You know, that's pretty funny though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I didn't think you'd bring that up.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Well, I saw it, and then I was just like, oh, you know what? I was like, we need to talk about that real quick. Give that guy some love.
For sure.
You
Yeah,
know,
because I mean
some
it's
respect.
iconic. I mean, though not everything is American. There are icons from other countries too that do great stuff. I mean,
Exactly.
you know, and God damn it, why don't the Hispanics fucking get more recognized more often? So we're not even in Star Trek. We don't even exist in the future. So you know, come on.
We'll exist in the future.
Boy.
I know.
just trust
What a
me.
rant.
I know. 'Cause I love
Dave
my
Rita's
culture.
ranting.
Colombiano.
You should do
Oh,
instead of a
David.
horror
Just
film.
think those
You should
films.
do a futuristic Star Trek, but not called Star Trek, but with Mexicans. So you know what I mean? So it's like
A Chavo track.
yeah, but it's funny like that. Star Trek has these cool fast ships. We just have like these big bulky lowriders or something. It's just like
It never
Great.
gets off the ground.
Frijole Trek.
yeah. So then,
Great.
It'd
Awesome.
be like-
Wow. Wow. This
Yeah.
isn't getting offensive at all.
no. This is all for the hilariousness.
Well, you know, these guys are the Spanish representation, so they can do it. You want to talk about the Egyptians and the Swedes, then we'll,
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
we'll be up.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think about that movie Exodus? Because there's like no Egyptians in it, like
No.
that play the main characters. You guys read about that? I thought
Well,
that was
this
hilarious.
happens often.
Yeah, it
I mean,
does.
going back all the way. And,
Yeah,
throughout the
Cleopatra
history of
played
Hollywood.
by Elizabeth Taylor. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll have,
That's my role.
Cleopatra. Oh God, that
Charlton
was
Heston plays Spanish. And
Yeah.
Rex
I mean, it
Harrison's in
happens.
it. I mean, in Cleopatra.
Seriously.
Because there's like no Spanish people to play Spanish people.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
But Charlton Heston.
Well, back then they had what? Fernando Lamas, and that's it. That's all they had back
I
then.
thought you were gonna say
Yeah.
Fernando Valenzuela.
Right. No.
Fernando
Freaking
Lamas.
Fernando Valenzuela.
No, they had Ricardo Montalban as well.
All
Ricardo
right.
Montalban with his Corinthian leather. Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. Yes. Yes.